Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again and joining us on our beekeeping journey. So as you can see, I have some different hives in the background here. And if you watched my last video about relocating my hives over to Warden's farm, you're probably wondering what's going on. I was relocating a few hives from Hampstead Honey. So let me give you a few weather stats and then a quick summary. So today's December 27th. The weather bug app says it's 72 degrees and 68%. The Accurate back weather station says it is 73 degrees and 78%. So here's a quick summary of everything that's taken place in the last 10 days. So December 17th, I went down to Jim's place down in Hampstead and closed up the two hives. He had the entrance reducers already installed with a small opening due to it being winter and everything. So to close up the hives, it was pretty easy. All I did was cut a very small piece of the pool noodle foam, closed them up, duct taped them, and I was going to pick them up the next day, but we had ran into some problems getting a U-Haul rental truck, so I had to delay it for 2 days. So the hives were closed up for just shy of 48 hours. Fast forward to December 19th in the late afternoon, I picked them up, brought them over here to our bee yard and opened up the entrances. And initially, the second hive, what I'm calling hive number 2 with the red ratchet strap, bees started coming out, so that was a good sign. But hive number 1 with the green ratchet strap didn't really show too many signs of life or activity. So I initially became pretty concerned. And then over the next 2 days, hive number 2 with the red ratchet strap, ton of activity. Hive number 1, nothing. Keep in mind the weather was still pretty cold, so fast forward to a day or two later, on December 22nd, we finally had some warm weather move through, and it was in the 70s, if you can believe that or not, for eastern North Carolina. And then all of a sudden, hive number 1 came to life with pretty much what you see now. I'll move in a little closer and get a better look. And then on Christmas Day, ton of activity. The weather was in the high 70s. I think it was like 78 degrees or so. So basically, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to get into the hives for the first time, do a full inspection. They do have apivar strips installed about 60 to 70 days, so they're past due. I'll remove those, no big deal. And this is going to be a first look, first inspection. The other thing I'm going to do today, other than the split, is basically just transfer some frames into my equipment, set this equipment aside, and either tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to move one of the hives over to Warden's farm, owned and operated by Paul, retired Marine, retired North Carolina wildlife officer. Been beekeeping for quite a few years now. Check out his channel, Warden's Farm NC. Awesome guy, nice gentleman, helping me out in a time of need. If you didn't catch the last video, moved some hives over to his place, and just overall, just a really nice guy, helping me keep my beekeeping operation alive. All right, everybody. Got the smoker going. Let's get into hive number 1 here, and I got my box set up right next to it. So inspection, transfer. Let's see how Hampstead Honey's hives are looking. And just like videos in the past, let me give you all a first look as well. So my first look and your first look, and that's exactly what you want to see. It's always nice to see bees in the top box. It's also my first time ever messing with these lids. I think they're called like a garden lid or something. They're pretty cool. Alright, a little different. I'm gonna check for the queen. There's only a few bees up here, so not much to really check for. That lid has some weight to it as well. Let me work on this smoker a little bit. I thought I had it going, but it's starting to die out, and judging by how the bees have greeted me, I definitely need to have a good smoker going. All right, what do you think? You think that's gonna last? I hope so. There's nothing. Damn, there's nothing worse to me than a smoker that dies, especially when you need it. All right, so let's give these bees some smoke. Let's see how this goes over. So again, first time inspecting Jim's colonies from Hampstead Honey. Smoke the entrance. I know this distance isn't the best, but if you can't see that or not, I got a box right here. So as I inspect them, I'm going to remove the medium eventually, and then transfer the deeps into my box here. All right, so let's get going. Always checking for the queen if you don't have an excluder. And that reminds me, I want to grab my queen clip and my marking tool and have that ready, because I don't know if she's marked. And speaking of marking and everything, this will be one of the last opportunities I have to use the color white, because 2022 will have a different color, and I haven't even looked to see what it is. He did say he was feeding them a little bit, and you can tell because they have a nice little patch of some capped honey. Oh wow. Check that out. That's not a nice food store. I don't know what it is. That's pretty nice. It's another nice food frame. I wouldn't imagine to find any brood or the queen on that one. Same with this. Pretty nice food stores in the top box so far. Alright, check this out. Very decent size colony. There's the Apivar strips. I'll remove those once I get to them. Overall, not looking bad. Here we go. You can see the propolis right here where the bees started to propolis the Apivar strips, but here's our first look at some capped brood. And if you can see it or not, the comb is dark, but there's some nice larvae in there that should be capped in the next few days. So this is a good time to start looking a little harder for the queen. I've been looking for her the whole time, but now that I've discovered some brood, she typically resides on the brood frames, but you never know, right? Where is my queen clip? Okay, clip is right there. Let's see. That is a nicer frame of brood. I'm going to go back and look at the last 3 frames real quick just to see eggs. I mean, judging off the larvae there, those were eggs within the last week. Oh, they definitely have eggs. If you can see this or not, probably not. Let me focus. So you got capped brood, some larvae, and then right there, right where my light is, eggs. So they're queen right. I'll try and find the queen. It's not uncommon for me to find the queen on the very last frame. We have 3 frames to go, so we'll see what. There she is. Did I say that? She is moving. Look at her right there. Right to the left. Actually, she's moving kind of slow. I'm going to try my luck again with the queen catcher. Oh. I think she's on to me. Let's see. Okay. And I lost her, just like that. They are definitely invasive, that's for sure. Alright, let's get them closed up. Alright, there you have it for this video. I'm going to let the bees settle down. So I'm going to prop up the bottom board, slide that hive over because this is the location they're used to. Give it maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour for the bees to settle down, because if you can't tell, they are all over the camera again, and I have a feeling you probably can't hear me that well. So with that said, I'm going to do exactly that and be back in a little bit. So hey, this is the second hive. Like I said in the intro, the one with the green ratchet trap. This was towards the back of the yard, and I was pretty concerned for a few days because they had no activity, but here we are. They've been in the yard here for a week and they definitely came alive. It's a nice looking frame. Some nice food stores. There's the very center frame. Some nice food stores on this one too. Oh man, that has some really nice weight to it. Bees are definitely working this one. Sorry if the lighting is not the best. Surprisingly, for it being noon, maybe closer to 1 o'clock now, it's interesting how the time of year affects where the in the sky. Because midsummer, right at noon, the sun is directly overhead, and it really helps out a lot when it comes to inspecting the colonies. It's a good angle directly overhead. You can see straight down into the cells, find eggs pretty easily. Just looking for the queen. No brood, so I wouldn't really expect to see her. It's a nice food store there. Alright, 3 frames to go. Grab my flashlight. What in the world? Check out this surprise. Hold on. It's always a surprise. So for whatever reason, we got a medium frame in the deep box. I'm gonna have to scrape all that comb off. I don't see any brood, so what I'm gonna end up doing is moving the best. Yeah, I don't see any brood at all, so I'm not really losing anything. I think I'm just gonna end up shaking all these bees into the hive that the camera is currently sitting on. And that's going to take a while, so I'll spare everybody that. painstaking process, but yeah, I don't see any brood in this colony at all. I mean, there's a ton of bees in here, and I'm not 100% sure. Like, no brood, no eggs, nothing. The first colony that I inspected, the one with the red ratchet trap, that was closer to the house. I may have said that in the intro. That one is jam-packed, so I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to combine these two hives into that 10-frame box. It's going to be packed full. So, yeah, that one's going to expand very quickly. And they were a little aggressive, which I definitely don't like. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do off camera. This may or may not be the very last video of the year, because I am heading over to Paul's place at Warden's farm, and we're going to do a dual inspection video, which will be pretty cool. He inspected his hives earlier this week, if not last week. He held off inspecting the 3 hives that I brought over to his place in October. He held off on inspecting them this week because he knows I'm in town. So we're going to get together tomorrow, if not the day after or later this week, and inspect my 3 hives together and do a dual inspection video. Be kind of cool. First time ever doing that, or inspecting my hives with another beekeeper. So anyway, just letting y'all know what I will be up to here in a few days. There's a stinger stuck into the camera, which I think definitely attracts the bees. So I ended up combining the two hives from Hampstead Honey, because the hive over here, what I was calling number 1 with the green ratchet trap, that was in the back of the yard. Made the call that it was queenless. Absolutely no brood whatsoever. No eggs, nothing. Decent food stores, but I'm watching them the other day. The field bees, the remaining field bees, I did not see them bringing in any pollen. And the reason I say that is the hive that is in the second location, those bees were bringing in a ton of pollen, and it looked like they had some orientation flights going on. So very confident that the first hive over here was queenless. So the only thing I could do at that point is just combine the two. That single deep is packed. Should build up very quickly. I had frames in all kinds of boxes, so as you can see, I'm just propping up that deep box there. Because of the few frames in there, the bees basically got situated on as I was inspecting them, trying to make a split, but once I figured out the one hive didn't have a queen, making a split just didn't make any sense. And then same here. So I'll just leave it like this for about maybe a day. Tomorrow afternoon, I would expect them to be completely settled in, all situated on the dark wood hive there, and we shouldn't see any bees on any of the deeps here. So I'll come out tomorrow afternoon right before sunset and see how things are looking. Alright everybody, here we are. It's the following day, just after 4:30 in the afternoon. The sun is below the tree line and will set in the next 30 minutes. Just wanted to do a 24-hour follow-up to show you mainly how all the bees are off of the deep boxes I left out, but I consolidated the 2 supers here, and I just wanted to show you, bees will find any little crevice to gain an entry point. And I noticed that yesterday when I installed the entrance box here. This is really what I wanted to show y'all, and it looks like the bees are off of this deep box for the most part. They're definitely off of these 2 boxes over here, which is good. I'm going to place this deep box on top of these 2, hoping that'll help them get off, but a ton of activity still, considering they have a food source right up the walkway here into the bee yard. But I imagine they'll be active for quite a few hours still. I'll come back probably around 8 or 9 p.m. Hopefully they've settled down, and I'll close up the entrance to the hive there. Alright, just wanted to show you, it's the following day. They're a little less active, at least on these 2 deeps, because they don't offer anything. There's probably some residual food, nectar, pollen, or or something on these frames that's keeping the bees drawn to it. But like I said, I'm gonna put this deep box on top of the 2 here, and then I'll definitely have to close up that small gap on the 2 medium supers here. But again, I'll give them until 8 or 9 p.m. They should die down and go back to their new home in the Hoover Hive. All right, that does it for me. Hey, thanks for watching Close Farm. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and if you're interested in purchasing any of our honey and you're local to the Jacksonville, North Carolina area, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. It'll take you over to our Square website. Just click the Book Now button. You can make an appointment up to a week in advance. We are available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You pay through the site, and we'll leave your jar of honey or jars of honey on our front porch for easy pickup. And if we are too far away for you to come over and buy some honey, we also have some at the Mike's Farm, North Carolina Products Barn, I think is what it's called. Anyway, huge barn on their property. All of the products in the barn, in the store, are products of North Carolina. So we have some honey over there on display for purchase as well. All right, hey, hope everybody had a nice Christmas. New Year's is right around the corner, and so is 2022. So I'll see y'all then.